Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Tutoring Tips for Teachers, and I'm so excited today because I have a very special guest with us to share some tutoring tips and to talk about his tutoring experience. It is Max Pavlovsky, and Max is an experienced tutor. He's been doing this for a few years, and Max, you're a math tutor, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, and you tutor high school math?
Yes, focusing mainly on the pre-calculus, AP calculus, things that, students are getting ready for college. They want to know that they can do well on.
Okay, fantastic. So that's like way higher level math than what I than what I
Yeah, I mean, I
teach or
still do
do.
some of the others, but yeah, that's where I really enjoy the most.
Okay, very good. And what is your business called?
It's called Max Math Tutoring because, my name is Max, but then also Max for maximum, like getting your maximum grade is what I'm after to help you.
Oh,
So,
very clever. Very nice.
yeah,
Yeah, because I see your posts on Facebook and yeah, and I follow them. That's very good. That's very clever. So
yeah,
Max,
thanks.
you've been doing this for a few years and you've recently started a Facebook group for tutors to help tutors. And
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that group.
Yeah, so it's technology tips for tutors, just to help other tutors with some of the tech side of things. If there's a new tool or something that can make your life easier as a tutor or make you more effective as a tutor so that you can help your students be more effective. I just really enjoy finding those tools. I'm always searching for the newest and latest thing, and I'll post about it. Maybe I'll do a quick video or I'll ask someone else, in the group, share your collective knowledge because I'm trying to form a community where we can share those tips with each other and, just make each other better tutors.
Oh, that sounds great. And I'll put a link to your group also in
Okay,
the description box below when this
great.
goes up on YouTube. So that's a great idea. And just to clarify, you tutor exclusively online, right?
That is correct.
Okay, good. So the tech for tutors is for online tutors, which is actually really good because I have a lot of people asking about how do I get started tutoring online? Like how do I make that transition from in person
Right,
to online or from
right.
teaching in person to tutoring online? So that's
Sure.
really good. And can you give us an example of a tool that you use when you tutor online that you find is really helpful?
Well, and I think there are a lot of different options out there, but early on, right around the time where everyone was going online with the pandemic, uh, there was a tool called BitPaper, and it was a free tool at the time. It was really not designed to be marketed by this company that developed it. They just wanted to have a tool for people to use, and then they were quickly overwhelmed with the demand. It's very feature rich. It is not exactly super user friendly, but there are a lot of tips to making it useful. You can teach your students how to use it so that they can be prepared. They can load all their homework in ahead of time. So I've become very fluent in that, and so I'm prepared to help people become really good at it. And there's some other tools that are good out there too, but it's a very powerful tool. It's an
Oh, nice.
online, basically an online whiteboard that you can write on and input things into, and just very useful.
Oh, very nice. So you'd say that's your favorite bit
That's
paper?
my that's my favorite. Yeah,
Okay, nice. Very nice. We all have our favorites, right? Online
yeah,
tutors. My favorite is probably Google Slides. So it's so basic,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's such a powerful tool.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
and I've heard a lot about BitPaper from math tutors in particular, and
Hmm.
especially people like yourself that are tutoring higher level math. So
Hmm.
that's something to think about for people that are thinking about tutoring math. Check out BitPaper for sure and
Yeah,
join Max's group if you want to get more information about that. That's a
absolutely.
really good one. Very
Yeah.
nice. And Max, you were telling me before we started recording that you actually started tutoring. You started your business in 2016, so you've been doing this for a while now, and
Yes.
yeah, which is great. And you started totally from scratch, right? Like you weren't working for another company or something. You just totally went out on your own and started from scratch.
Pretty much, yeah. I got my first student in 2015. Somebody found me because I had previously taught math, and as I started getting getting referrals from that parent, I started realizing this is something I could really do. And then when I did some research, found out other people were doing it, making a full-time living out of it. I thought this is perfect. This is what I want to do. And I did work with a few agencies in the beginning to get the experience, to get my name out there. But then I quickly learned that these companies are paying way more than what you're worth as a tutor, and they're charging a lot. So why can't I do the same thing? And so that was my goal after, starting up and saying, this is my business, 2016. I'm going to make it, I can go out and get those same students.
That's fantastic. I think a lot of us realize that too when we start working for companies, for sure. And so now today, your business is growing and you're probably continuing to grow it. So how do you find students if you're looking for new students today, like new students for a program you're doing or even just one-to-one tutoring, where do you find them?
Well, at this point in my career, I could tell you when I started, the easiest way for me to get new students was to just get the word out, tell everybody you know, and ask previous, like if you were a teacher and you've got a good relationship with parents, you can always ask them, hey, I'm doing some sideline tutoring. If you know anybody who needs help, just get the word out, tell everybody you know, print flyers and put them up everywhere. And that got me my first clients. But what I found was one of the most effective, and I don't think people realize this, is Nextdoor, which is an app, similar to Facebook, but it's in a small geographic area, usually the area you live in, where people are just trading advice, like, where do you find a dentist or a tutor? And if you can get your name out there and your name gets mentioned more than once, they're going to call you. And I've gotten lots and lots of calls from Nextdoor. I kind of took it another step further, and I had a friend of mine who lived in an area where my target clients were post something about me there. And even years later, I'm still getting referrals from their neighborhood, even though I don't even live anywhere near them. So that's a little side strategy. If you know somebody that lives in an area where all your target clients live, get them to post for you.
Wow, that's really interesting. And that's one that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, actually. I
Yeah,
don't hear a lot of people talk about Nextdoor. And so where I am, I'm in Canada, in Toronto, Canada,
yeah,
and we do have Nextdoor, but it's not that popular. I think it
yeah,
probably depends on where you are, but I know in the United States that it's very popular and
yeah,
people use it a lot, and
yeah,
maybe even more than Facebook. Here, where I am here, Facebook kind of acts like our next door because there's a lot of local groups. So it probably depends where you are geographically, but I know in a lot of parts of the United States that people are moving away from Facebook and onto other apps and and Nextdoor
yeah,
is pretty big and has
yeah.
a lot of it's very powerful because it's so local, and like you said, your friend recommended you, so it has a lot of like it really resonates with people because
Yeah.
it's about their neighborhood, and that's the best. I think that's the best way to get
Yeah.
your name out there, honestly, if you can
Well,
find something local.
yeah, it's just like in the old times when you spoke to our neighbors, you would just say, walk down the street and ask somebody. But now it's just, well, we know who our neighbors are, but let's just ask them over text instead. So it's
Yes.
it's a it's kind of like making it feel like a neighborhood in a way. So
Yes,
yeah, that's good.
exactly.
And the
Yes.
other thing that I would recommend is to call up the schools in your area and get on their tutor list. Now, you'll find that they probably have lots and lots of tutors on those lists, but don't get discouraged because if you are the early bird, if you get an email from someone that says, "Hey, I saw your name on the list," call them back right away, and a lot of times you'll get the job because you're so responsive. There are a lot of people that are on those tutor lists that they're really not in it to make, they're not serious about it. Maybe they'll check their email once a week. So your competition is not what you would think it would be just because there's a lot of tutors on there. I've been on tutor lists that have hundreds of people on it, and I still get, you know, uh, referrals out of that and get bookings. So don't get discouraged if you're on a list. You just never know when somebody's going to need you. So that's those two things have probably got me my most consistent leads going forward.
Wow, that's really interesting. It's so interesting and informative to hear how other people get their students
Yeah,
because I know how I get my students and I can tell people, but what you're telling me is like totally different. I don't even that's not even those aren't even avenues that I've even really
yeah,
tried. And yet that's how you've built your entire business. So
pretty much.
it really depends on where you are, who you're working
Yeah.
with, what you
Mm-hmm.
tutor. So this is really good advice. And I like that you said that you should get back to the people right away and demonstrate good customer service skills. And
Yeah.
I think that what you said that about the competition is not what you think it would be. That is really a good point. That's a really good point. And
Yeah.
if you have those customer service skills and you can respond to people quickly, which is not really, I mean, it's not really that hard to do. Like
No, it's
if
not.
you're no, if you're really motivated, then you can set aside the time. Even if you're teaching all day, you can set aside like, say, for half an hour after the kids leave or something, I'm going to be responding to my leads because if you can get back to them that same day, that goes a long way with people. A
Or
long
even
way.
just send them a text. I had my email set up that as soon as I got a notice by email, I was texting them. And within an hour, they're getting a text from me saying, "Got your email. When can we chat?" And they're usually a lot of times going, "Wow, that was so fast." And that's if you're setting that impression to begin with, that means that the ongoing relationship that sets the tone. They know you're going to be responsive. They're not going to have to try to find you. They know you're going to be right on it. Like, so and so has a test tomorrow. Can you meet with them tonight? Yeah, I think I can. So that goes a long way, and not just for that student, but you're setting a tone of that person is now going to refer you and say how good you were. So, it starts from the very first time you contact someone.
That's so true. That's a really, really good point. And I think and that's another thing that we don't talk about enough. That is a really good point. And people have said that to me. I've gotten that feedback as well where people say thank you for getting back to me so quickly
Yep.
and
Yeah.
you're right. It does go a long way with people and they want the experience to be convenient for them as well. So yeah, they want their kids to learn obviously and they want their kids to have a good rapport with you and all that stuff. But the one thing we can't forget is they want to have a seamless experience. They want to have convenience, right? They want you to get
Yeah.
back quickly. They want you to take care of them as a
Yeah.
customer. Yeah, that's almost as I think for a lot of people, that's like as important as their kids actually learning with you as
Yeah.
a tutor. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
hugely important.
You're setting yourself apart as a professional, and that makes a difference. Makes a huge difference. There's a lot of people that are doing this that are not that professional about it. And so
Yeah.
you don't want to be put into that little mode of like, oh, who's the cheapest tutor because you're all the same. No, you're a professional. You're above all that stuff. You're going to give them the top quality service. They're going to invest their resources in your services and they're going to get the maximum out of it. So,
Yes, that's an excellent, excellent, excellent point. Do not underestimate how important customer service is, how important it is to get back to people. And you said you had an automation set up where if a lead came in, you were able to text them back right away. Those are
yeah,
powerful tools that can help
yeah,
you
yeah.
respond quickly. Yeah, those are
Just
really
a little
powerful.
little tech tip thing that I'm always kind of a tinkerer. I find ways to do things and I like to share those with other people too. So
Oh, that's very good. So these kinds of things we can find in your Facebook group as well. It's not just about
yeah,
how to what's the word I'm looking for? Like how to add value to your lesson or how to improve the tutoring experience, but it's also about
mhm,
how to automate and improve the customer service experience. That's a
yeah.
good point about tech that we don't think about as tutors. We don't think about how we can use it in that way. So that's a really
Little
good point.
those little things, you never know where it's going to that's going to lead. Any one particular client could totally change your life. I give you an example. I had a student that their junior year they were struggling in math, and I when I first talked with the parent, they said, "I just want to know that you are the best person for my child." And so we're going to do this on a trial basis, and if it works well, I don't care how much it costs, basically. And so, um, and I didn't try to charge them too much. I basically charged them what was fair. And they have continued to use me all through high school and all through college. And this is thousands and thousands of dollars and an amazing relationship with a student who I will probably be in contact the rest of my life.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
So you just never know
That's
where
a
one little thing is going to, they say the small things make the big difference, that you miss the 2-inch putt in golf. That's like $500,000, so
yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're so right. So pay attention to the small stuff. That's very
yep.
good. Okay. So Max, if a teacher working in the classroom comes to you and they say, I want to start a tutoring business, but I don't even know where to begin, what would your advice be to them?
So one of the things is you want to just really determine what it is you want to tutor. You want to be a specialist and not just say I'm a math tutor. You will get a lot of people come to you that do you tutor math and what do you tutor. But if you focus on one thing, like if I'm an AP calculus tutor or an AP physics tutor, um, it won't keep you from getting other people, but it will let people know you're an expert on that, and people want the expert. So decide who that is. um, you also want to decide why you're doing this. Is it I just need a little bit extra money, or I want to transition into a new career? Because the why part is going to be what keeps you motivated when things are maybe not going as well as you hope they would. Because you'll have that, like you might have a week or two where I'm not getting new students. What do I do? Well, I know if I keep at it, I will get those students. So yeah, just decide why. Well, the first one was decide what you want to tutor, then decide why, and then just go out there and let people know. Just tell people that you are a math tutor and you want to help kids to be successful.
That's great. That's great advice. And I love that you said there's two things you have to do before you start telling people. You have to decide on what you're going to
Yeah,
focus on, your why, then go out and start telling people, because when you take your message out, a lot more powerful because you've built that foundation. So that's really, really good advice. Thank you very
yeah,
much, Max. And if people
yeah.
are looking at you, they can find you at your Facebook group, which is what is it again?
It's technology for tutors.
Is that the best place for people to find you, is to go to the Facebook group, or do you have
Yeah,
do you have a website or?
they can come to my website if they want, maxmathtutoring.com, but that's mainly geared for prospective students. And they can always
Okay.
email me there. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I'm starting a little group there called Technology for Tutors. But this is my main one. We've got, um, I think we've got 47 members now, but it's growing, and we want to make it as big as possible to
Nice.
help as many. See, this point, you want to think as you get to a certain point, you want to think, how can I help the most students? I can help the most students by helping the most tutors, and then they can help the most students. So I'm kind of like you. I want to help tutors, and technology is kind of my thing. So um, yeah, technology for
Very nice.
tutors. Come see us.
This has been a wonderful, wonderful chat. I think it's going to inspire a lot of tutors and people who are thinking about starting to tutor. So it was a
Yeah.
real pleasure talking to you today. And thanks everyone for watching. And we'll see you next time at Tutoring Tips for
Thank you, Kelly.
Teachers. Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
for all you do. Bye bye.